safe and well and healthy. And I'm really praying for everything to be all right with everyone who has joined here. So welcome everyone to Exicel, Rotaract's largest Excel project. So before I go on with all the workshops and everything, I need to thank our platinum partner, Stacks, a management consulting firm based in Boston, Chicago, Colombo, and New York. And also, I would like to thank our knowledge partner, who is EasyLink Academy, even before the pandemic. So during 2020, this academy really stood out in terms of providing the best set of lectures for students in the commerce stream. And now they are having their intake for this end of the month. Now, today we will be going and looking into the basic Excel functions. And this is what you are exactly here for. So now, I'm looking at all these bright new faces, eagerly waiting here to learn Excel and really take part in this competition as well. So can I see a thumbs up from everyone who's really here? If you all can even switch on your videos for a second and give me those thumbs up that you are ready for this. Are you all ready? Give me those thumbs up, guys. All right. So without any further ado, let me introduce our host today. Should I say lecturer or your teacher or the expert in the Excel we have today to teach everything for you all today. So we have Miss Nimesha Jayamanne from the Rotaract Club of West. She is also the president of the Rotaract Club of West and advisory deal analyst at KPMG Sri Lanka. She was the head prefect of St. Lawrence's Convent, and today she will be teaching you all the basics of Excel. Nimesha, over to you.
So hi everyone, I hope I am visible and audible. Priyandan, can you confirm?
Yes, you're audible and visible.
Okay. So hi everyone, and thank you Priyandan for that introduction. And Priyandan said that I'm an expert in Excel. I wouldn't call myself an expert because there are people who know way more than me. But thank you so much for this opportunity, and I hope all of you guys are pumped up and excited for today's session. So before that, I hope that all of you all have saved the participant material that was sent out to you guys on email, I think by the team. If any of you haven't received it, maybe I think the team can share a link on the chat box real quick so that y'all can save it. So I advise y'all to keep it saved in your computer, and while I do the workshop, for y'all to keep working with me as well. So if anybody does not have this, y'all can maybe drop a message on the chat box. Okay, I think everyone is okay, and I think we are good to go. So let me begin. Let me quickly share my screen. Okay, so someone does not have it. The team, can you all just share the link to that file? So I'll maybe hold on for a minute while I share my screen. So are we good to go? Can I begin?
Yes, Nimesha, you can start. We'll be sharing link soon.
Okay, cool. So I hope you guys can see my screen. So this is just a PowerPoint presentation that I put together actually for a few years back, and I have customized it for this session. So just again, Piyandan introduced me, so I do not have to introduce myself again. Uh, so moving on, so I won't really ask you all one by one what you all think are the uses of Excel. So as a person who uses Excel on a daily basis, I would say that my life would be very different if there was no Excel. I would literally use it for almost anything, not just number based things, but databases. Even if I'm planning a trip, I would use an Excel sheet. And 2 years back, I was our club secretary. I used to take meeting notes on an Excel sheet. So an Excel sheet can be used for almost anything. So moving on. So this is what an Excel sheet looks like. I'm pretty sure you all have seen it, but so my bad. So onto your left is what you call rows, and rows are numbered saying 1, 2, 3, 4 until 1,048,576. So that's the number of rows which are there on a normal Excel sheet. Then horizontally, it's called columns. So columns are named by A, B, C. So after you go to Z, it goes as A, B, A, C, and likewise. So there are 16,384 columns on a normal Excel sheet. And to refer to cells, you use this reference where I have circled saying E13. So right now, this the cursor is in cell E13. So that is column E, row 13. So while I am doing the session, if you all have any questions, you all can drop it on the chat box. No worries. I mean specifically with regard to the practical activities that we will be doing. You all might want to ask questions, so you all can always drop a message on the chat box. So I hope this part is clear because now we will move on to the actual functions. So if you all have any questions up to this point, you all can drop it on the chat box or always ask at the end of the session. So moving on to my next slide. So these are the basic spreadsheet functions. The first, where we start from ground zero. Uh, you all would have learned these when you all were doing maybe say grade 6, 7, IT in school. You all would have been taught that you all can actually do additions, deductions, and the next one, the star sign, that is for multiplications, and the slash sign is it's for division. So I will now go to the Excel sheet and show you all how you all can use this. So I suggest that you all also open it's the same Excel sheet that you all also have. So I suggest that you all also open it and try it out with me. So for convenience, I'm going to share the full screen so that I don't have to switch between screens. Hold on, guys. I am not very tech savvy when it comes to Zoom, only with Excel. So I guess you all can see my Excel sheet. So now this is, and I hope that you all are also working on it parallelly. So this is, so in your Excel sheet on tab 1, I have listed out a set of expenses for a project. I think this is probably for an installation, for a Rotaract installation. So now I have shown in the year 2018 and the year 2019 what are my expenses for each of these. So in this column, I want to get the addition of 2018 and 19. So I might want to do certain analysis of my data, right? So in this column, I want to see the total of 2018 cost and 2019 cost. So what I should do is I need to first type an equal sign. I'm sorry, guys. Needs to be. Okay, yeah, now I need to type my equal sign. I need to click on this cell first and then addition and this cell. And that gives me the total of the two cells. So similarly, I can copy paste this onto the rest of it. And then with your rows, so when you copy paste this function onto this row, it will change it automatically. So now this is in row 3. So C3 plus D3 will change to C4 plus D4 when I paste it on row 4. So it changes. So if you don't want it to change, for example, you want C3 plus D3 to be on this cell as well when you copy paste, it's simple. All you have to do is you need to select this cell. So say I want C3, the venue cost of 2018, and I want to add the each of these costs for 2019. So for example, I want here venue cost of 2018 plus venue cost of 2019. Here I want venue cost of 2018 and decoration cost of 2019. Then here I want venue cost of 2018 and refreshment cost for 2019. So what I am going to do is I am going to select C3, which is my venue cost for 2018, and I am going to select F4. So when I select F4, there will be $2 signs near C and near 3. So by this, what we are doing is we are freezing the cells. Okay, so, and then I will select this cell. When I do that, and when I copy paste it downwards, you can go and see on the formula bar here. Okay, you can see that with the row, the column D number has changed from D3, D4, D5, D6 likewise, but C3 has remained the same. That is because I froze the cell. Okay, so that is just a bit about freezing, but so here what we need is 2018, 2019, and here we need 2019, 2018, maybe to see how the costs have increased or changed from year to year. So what I do is I select 2019 minus 2018. So then, yeah, so then I can see that for the decorations and refreshments, the costs have remained exactly the same. But for these, they have either increased or decreased. In 2019, my cost is reduced for the venue, I mean. up to this. So I will give you all a few seconds, maybe about 20 seconds to try this out on your own Excel file while I change my screen. And if you all have any problems, you all can message on the chat box. Please message everyone so that if it is a common question, then I can address it together. Rotaract past president Anamila, please don't send me direct messages. Yeah, so I have a question about sum. Yes, you can use sum. So that is going to be my next part of the presentation. So I hope you all can see my screen. So I think we are good to go. I don't think there are any other questions. Yeah, so moving on to the next part of it. Yes, and I will also explain how you can freeze the cell when we go back to try these out. So we have these basic functions which are called sum, which you can use to take the total of a few numbers. So if there is a range of numbers and you want the total, you don't have to add it one by one. You can use this sum function. Then average function is you can use if there is a set of numbers, you can use this average function to get the average and count. Again, if there is this is not only for numbers, but any number of cells, you can use this count function to figure out how many cells are filled in this. So say you have a list of names, even you can use this count function to find out how many names are there in this range. So let me go back to my Excel file. So first of all, I will show you how you can freeze cells again. So, okay, I'm going to say that now that this is a joint project. Now, if it is a joint project between, say, 5 parties, I'm going to select 5 here. I'm going to enter 5 here. Now, this total cost for these 2 years, I want to figure out how much is this total cost for each party. So what I need to do is I need to divide all of these by 5, right? So I have entered 5 here. I mean, you can manually type in 5 as well. So instead, what I am going to do is I am going to select this cell, which is E3, and divide. Now I want this division. So all these cells should be divided by the same value, right? So I am going to select this and I am going to freeze it. I am going to freeze it and then I will copy paste this, or else I can drag and drop as well. So yes, and I have a question asking why there are brackets. So usually in accounting format, so even in your, if you take a set of financial statements for a company, usually if it is a negative figure, it will be shown within brackets. So brackets represent negative. So if you can see here, if you can see here on top, I have made it into accounting. So the format that I have shown is accounting. So when you change it into accounting, automatically all your negative figures will go as brackets, go inside brackets. And if you change it to number, it has been custom because I removed the decimal points. So if I change it to number here, it will be a minus figure. I hope that is correct. I hope that is understood. So moving on to freezing cells again. So as what I did was once I selected the cell that needs to be frozen, I selected F4. So in some computers, it goes as FN and F4. In some computers, it goes as Fn and F4. Usually, most computers, it goes as F4 only. So if you can't find that also, you can manually enter these $signs and then it will get frozen. Rehan, I am not sure what exactly you mean by the one before it. And yes, so if you want to freeze cells, definitely if it is frozen, there will be $signs. Yes, and I still haven't shown you all how to do the summing. So here I have only shown the addition and the deduction. So to show now onto this row, now I want to get the total of, oh my bad, total of all of these. So to do that, what I need to do is I need to say equal sum, open bracket, and I need to select my range of cells, and then I need to close bracket and enter. Same thing here, but I don't need to, I mean, I can, if I want, I can always select it manually, but I don't have to do that because I can copy paste it. And since I haven't frozen my cells, it will be the same. So as in it will change with the column. Yes, we can type in the, so I have a question asking if we can manually type in the $sign when freezing cells. Yes, we can. F4 is there just to make it easy, because sometimes when we manually type it, we might make mistakes. But if you can't find how you can find out how you can freeze your cells using a computer, you can always type in the $signs manually. So it say if it is on cell A1, then before A and before 1, you need to type $signs. Repeat the G column. Okay. Okay, so there are few questions waiting. Let me address them one by one. So on G column, what I did was almost the same thing as what I did here. So I just wanted to show how to freeze cells. So what I did was the venue cost for 2018, I added each of these costs for 2019. So basically here what I have is venue cost for 2018 plus venue cost for 2019. Here it's venue cost for 2018 plus decorations for 2019. So venue cost for 2018 plus refreshment cost for 2019. So these are, so I just wanted to show that if I froze this cell, when I copy paste it here, it won't change. I hope that is clear. Then next question by Anam. Isn't there a shortcut key to get the sum of cells? There is, yes, Anam. So if you want to get it through a shortcut, instead of typing sum, there is on the home bar at the top, there is something called Autosum. You can select Autosum. You can go to the cell where you want the sum. You can select Autosum. Then it's giving a suggestion. If there are numbers immediately above it, it's giving a suggestion asking me whether these are the numbers that I want to add together. Then if it is the one, then I can just hit enter. So then my sum will be here. I hope that is clear. So it is, it's on your home tab. There is something called Autosum here. Autosum is what you need to use. Next question. F4 thing, yes, the frozen cells thing. Maybe I'll do that again. Yeah, so I have a question asking about adding cells, adding the values in cell C3 plus D3. Yeah, if you could be a bit more precise on what exactly you need. Yes, you can, okay, I got it. So I will move on to freezing cells again once more after all of these questions. So yes, so that is a good question. So I can, so like I said, if I want, now I have about 10 cells here, right? If I want, I can say C3 plus C4 plus C5 plus like that, right? If I want, I can do that manually. If I want, I can use sum also. So like I did here. So I didn't add everything together, so that's why it doesn't tally here. But if I had added everything together, it's the same answer I got. So now if I have only 2 cells, it doesn't really make sense for me to type in all that equals sum, open bracket, and then select the 2 cells and then close bracket and everything. So that's why I just selected equals and then one cell plus the other one. I hope that is clear. Unable to lock cells using F4 in my computer. Dinushani, why don't you try FN key with F4? Sometimes that works. If not, let me see if there is anything else. So far, what I have seen, always it works for F4 or FN and F4. So I am guessing there are no more questions. So about freezing cells, again, I will address that again. So I will explain it once more. Now say there is a fixed cost of 2000 here. And these are my variable costs for each day. 100, 300, 300, 400, right? So this will change from day to day, but this fixed cost will be the same. So to see the total cost for each day, what I need to do is I need to add 2000 plus each day's variable cost, right? So now this 2000 is the one which is fixed. So I need to freeze it. To freeze it, I need to select F4 or FN with, for some FN with F4. So when you select that, a dollar sign will come before the before B and before 18. Now, if you want, you can manually type in the dollar sign as well. So if it is not, if the F4 is not working for you at all, you can manually type in this dollar sign, and then I will select this cell, which is E18, right? So when I select that, it's 2100. So our calculation is correct, we know that. And now I can just copy paste it in front of this. So if you can see, when I copy paste it, it has changed. The row number has changed with the row for D, for whatever is in column D, right? But the column B, the cell that we froze, remains the same. So I hope that is clear, and I know it's pretty useful to know this. So each of these days, the variable cost has changed, but my fixed cost has remained the same. Repeat the total of column H. In column H, I don't really have anything. I am not exactly sure. I think you mean Autosum though. I think you mean column I. So I can show you Autosum function for this. So what I need to do is I need to select this cell which is below all of these, and I select Autosum, and then it will give me a suggestion asking if these are the ones which I need to change. Sorry, to add. So then since that is correct, I just need to hit enter. If it is not, I can manually change it, or I can select it again and then just enter. Wow, there are so many questions. I'm sorry guys, if I miss it, you can always drop it again, but I will try to address all of them. Gihan, I'm not sure what you mean by sum dragging. I think what you mean is like where you copy paste this. Is that what you mean? Okay, cool beans. So now I can show you how to use the average function. So I just need to say equals average, and then I need to select the range and close bracket. So within, always your range should be within brackets. So open brackets, close brackets, and you can copy this and paste it for the rest, and then it will change accordingly with your column. So I hope that is clear. It's the same as sum, but average. So, and then you get the average, and then count. I need to know how many are here. So I use count. I select my range, close bracket, and there are 9. And then I can paste it here. Now for all of these, there are 9 anyway, so it won't change. Say I change my range a bit. I want it up to D13 itself, then it will change. Instead of copying and pasting the average, can we drag it? Yes, we can. So I'm going to delete this again, and I am going to, so on this cell, at the end of this cell, if you can see this tiny square, right? You need to go there, and then your cursor will change into a plus sign, right? So you need to click that and drag and drop it. So then the same thing will happen. I hope that is clear. I mean, it's not much of a biggie. So I mean, you can either copy paste it or you can drag and drop it. It's a bit hard to drag and drop it for a big range of cells. So that is why we don't really recommend that, because if say you have like thousands of information and you drag and drop it, it's a little hard. So Rehan, you are not clear about 2018 plus 2019. So it's pretty easy. So all I have done is equals this cell plus this cell. So all you need to do is you need to put an equal sign. You need to select whichever cells you want to add using the plus sign. Then, okay, why is D14 count 11? Because to show that it will change, I changed it from, so for this one, our range is this. So it's only the actual figures. Then I manually changed it. So after I showed you all, I manually changed it to include the total and average as well, to show that it changes with the number of items. So if you get all as 9, it's fine. You're correct. This one I just changed it to show you all. So, okay, how do you get brackets without manually entering it for the negative values? So here I didn't actually manually enter anything. So what I did was I deducted one value from the other. So then so basic mathematics. So if you're deducting a higher value from a lower value, then your answer will be a negative figure. For example, if I deduct 10 from 8, then your answer will be a -2. So that is how I got it. If I want, I can manually enter minus sign. But if you can see on the formula bar, the figure I have got is not something that I manually entered. It's the product, like it's the product of the formula that I entered. So if you want, and okay, if I want to get the brackets for these, now for example, now this one it's in number, so I change, it's not in brackets, right? So if I can go here, I can select accounting, and then, okay, my bad. So accounting also, there are formats. You can go to the settings here and change it. So the setting on this is to show $sign, my bad. You can use this comma and get your accounting figure without any currency sign. So if you want to remove currency signs, you can go go to this drop down here on this formats, and you can go to more number formats and always change it. So there are so many settings here. I'm not going to go into the details of that in the interest of time, but yes. How to get the total? So like I said, it's very easy. So I'm not sure if you're talking about the sum or if you're talking about the addition of two of them. So if it's sum, you just need to type equal sum and select the range, or else you can use Autosum function here. Average calculation, there is nothing really to think about. You just need to type average and you need to select your range within brackets. The 2019 count. Okay, so don't get confused about the 2019 count. I just manually changed it to show you all that it increases with the number of sales which are there. So don't. So if I select the normal range of sales, then it will be 9. How did I darken? The answer is just normal formatting, like bold. So there are so many formatting options here. There is bold, there is italics, there is underline, and then there are borders here. You can select any type of border you want. So then you can select a font color. You can select a cell color. So those are just basic formatting which you can get from this uh, from these options which are given on the home tab. So I can just select bold, or there are shortcuts which are used like not only on Excel but on any other function. So you can say Control B and then it will get bold. So likewise, how to use Autosum, I will show this once more. Uh, Okay, so in cell E12 you get point answers. That is fine. So if you are seeing decimals, you can always navigate it. You can increase the number of decimals using this. You can reduce the number of decimals using it. So you can always change it. So don't worry about your formatting. You can always use these options. You can use them. And Autosum, I will show this once more. So I am going to delete my sum here. I just need to go to this cell. So I have certain numbers on top of it. So I am going to go to this option on my home tab. There is a sum here called Autosum. I mean, sorry, there's a function here called Autosum. I just need to click this and it gives me a suggestion asking if these are the cells which I want to add. Now, if this is wrong, I can always select like this, then it will automatically change it on that. So this is what I want. So I'm going to select that. Okay, so I think we are good to move on, I hope. So I am going to move on to my presentation after a very, very long discussion. So moving on. Okay, so I hope you all can see it. I'm not going to go on to full screen mode so that we can save time. So moving on to my next slide. So now that we know about our basic Excel functions. Yes, I can show you how to take the average again once I go back to the Excel file. So now there is something called concatenation. Now concatenation is if you take the meaning of this English word, it means to club things together basically. So I will go and I will explain it through my Excel file. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to go back to my Excel file. So before that, I have a request to show how to get the average. Now, if I want to get the average, all I need to do is I need to say equals average. So you will get a suggestion if you're spelling it correctly, then open bracket, and you need to select the range of numbers, close bracket, enter, and you get the average. I hope that is clear. So now we can move on to our tab 2 on our Excel file. So on tab 2, I
Nimesha,
have, yes.
yes, can we give them a small activity before moving to this area? Like a small summation, so then can give them a small question and they can probably give their answers on chat box.
Okay, you mean like,
They have understood that area.
okay, so we can do that. So on tab 5, we have a set of expenses which have been incurred during a year for certain projects. So I want to find my total expenses for that year. So if you all can type in the function that I need to use to get the total of these expenses, and so y'all can drop it as a direct message to me so that we know that all of y'all know. Yes, but some, okay, Ashan is correct, Anam is correct. Yeah, so some of y'all have specified it saying D3. Yes, Autosum is also correct. Somebody got the sum and gave it to me, yes. So yes, so most of y'all are correct. So I mean, almost all of y'all are correct. Some of y'all were specific about the cells you need to select. Some of y'all, yes, Autosum is the easy way out. So all you need to do is you need to say equals sum. So even if you select Autosum, this is the function that will come. And you need to go to the top, select all of your expenses, close brackets, and you get it. So you all can check if this is the function that you all got. Yeah, and then you all can also show me how you all can get the average of these expenses. If you all can drop how you all are going to get the average. Yes, equals average. Yeah, good stuff. So same as sum, you just need to say equals average. And you need to select the cell range, which is D3 to D29, and then you get your average. So I think we are good to move on. I think all of you are working on Excel files, so I'm happy about that. So keep up the good work. So anyway, so using, when it comes to using concatenate, it means that we are clubbing things together. Now, here I have a set of addresses, but these addresses, they are in separate columns. So house number is there separately, street name is there separately, street name 2 is there separately, and then we have the city. Now what I want is I need to get this into one cell, get the full address into one cell. So to do that, I need to use this concatenate function. Just give me a second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Moving back to our Excel sheet. So to do this, I need to use the concatenate function. So what I am going to do is I need to select equals concatenate, and I need to see, so how we are writing an address is we need to first have the house number, right? Then we need to have a comma. Then we need to have a space after the comma, then the street name, right? And then a comma, then a space, and then a the street name too again, right? So that is how we usually write an address, right? So if I manually write this address, I will say 201 comma and a space A Street, comma and a space, and Jan Road, Jan whatever. I'm not going to type the whole thing. Comma space and Colombo 10 and full stop, right? So this is how, if you are manually typing an address, this is how we have to type it in, right? So using concatenate, now, I mean, you can type it in, but it will take a while. So think you have so many, about hundreds of these, you are not going to type them manually, right? So what you need to do is you can use this concatenate function, right? So using that, what you can do is, so I want 201 first, right? So then I select this B3 first, and then I put a comma. A comma is not the comma which is shown on the address. It's a comma to separate the different elements. Okay. So to do, then after that, now after I show 201 in my address, I need to display a comma and a space, right? So whatever I need to display on my address, I am going to select it with, I'm going to type it in within inverted commas. So double inverted commas, comma and a space, close double inverted commas. Then I need to enter that comma where I separate the text, right? So then that is that comma. Then after that, I need A Street. Then after A Street, again, I need a, so this comma is the one which is going to separate the text. Then I also need a comma and a space to on my display on the text. So right, that will be within inverted commas, comma and a space, and close inverted commas. Now that's my next text, right? So that's my text 4. So although I have selected only 2 cells, even this comma and space also, it counts as a text element, right? Then I need to enter another comma to to separate the text, and then I select January Road, and then I separate it using a comma, and then I add in inverted commas, comma and space, close inverted commas. Again for that other comma which is on, this is for that other comma which has to be shown on our address, and then comma to separate, and then Colombo 10. After Colombo 10, I don't need a comma and a space, I need a full stop. So I first put a comma to separate the text, then within inverted commas I put a full stop, and then I close inverted commas. So now I have my address. So Mariam, yes, you need to show, if you need to add anything other than something which is in a cell, then you need to show it within inverted comma. So which is why I showed this comma and this full stop, because they are not inside any of these cells. So that's why I showed it inside inside inverted commas. So this is a pretty useful function. So if you all have any questions, you all can ask. So again, if when I copy paste it, or if I drag and drop it, it will change accordingly. Why do we put 2 inverted commas? That's because it's the closing, so opening and closing. So it should be within. So for example, like we put opening bracket and closing bracket. Similarly, we need to have opening and closing. Yes, I can repeat this again. So I will show it again for this one. So I need to type equal concatenate, right? And then open brackets. Then I need to select the cell with, so here in this case, I need to select this cell with the first text. Then I need to show a comma to separate this text from the next text elements. Then after that, hold on. So after that I will select, I will within inverted commas, because in my address I need to show a comma and a space, right? And this comma and space is not there. So if without a comma and a space, if I select all of this, I can do this, then what I will get is this. So in order to separate these only, I put within inverted commas a comma and a space, and close inverted commas, then comma to separate it. Then again here, open inverted commas, comma and space, close inverted commas, then a comma. Here, open inverted commas, comma, space, close inverted commas, and a comma. And then after this, I need a full stop. So comma, open inverted commas, full stop, and close inverted commas. So then I get it correctly. No, you put the inverted commas if it is something, if it is like an additional text that you want to put. So now when I select B4, I didn't put any inverted commas, right? I selected only B4 because the B4 content is already inside B4. But this comma in between B4 and C4, I need to add that manually, right? So to add that manually only, I put it within inverted commas. So then that's like quote marks. Okay, so now I have a lot of questions coming in. So let me address these one by one. Shortened way of doing that without adding commas and inverted commas. So actually, this is the easiest way of doing it, because I think it still makes life easier. So so usually concatenation doesn't come for things like addresses. It comes for like joining text. So first name, second name. So things like that as well. Or when you have the date, month, and year in a separate columns, you want to add combine them together. So for things like that, so usually there, as far as I know, there isn't a way to do it without the inverted commas. So if you're like adding something manually, you will definitely have to put two inverted commas. Yes, and I will do this once more for everyone to understand. When we copy paste, the addresses are auto typed rather than retyping. Yes, so you just need to add the formula for one row. So then when you copy paste it, unless you have frozen a cell, when you copy paste it, it will be pasted, like it will change according to the row. So yes, so good question. So when we type equals con, then we get a list of suggestions. From that list, can we select concatenate? Yes, we can. That is what I also use, because sometimes if we manually spell it, our spellings can go wrong. So when you type it, you will get the suggestion. So I will demonstrate that as well. I will do concatenate again and show it. So equals, now I am typing con, then this is the first suggestion I get. I double click it, then it will automatically come. So people like me, I have spelling mistakes sometimes. So I mean, if you all can, I suggest you all also to use it. I mean, it's a long word to type, right? So then the first text. So now when I open my brackets here, there is something called text 1, text 2, likewise, right? So for text 1, I want my house number. So house number, it's already in cell B5. So I select B5 manually. So I mean, I just click on B5, right? So then after showing the house number, I want to show a comma and a space, right? Because that's how you usually write an address. You put the house number, then if you're like manually typing it, you type the house number, then you type a comma and a space. So then I will, within inverted commas, I will type a comma and a space. Now don't confuse this comma that is outside the inverted commas and within the inverted commas. Okay, outside the inverted commas, it's to just separate the elements of text. So if you can see, there is text 1, and right now I'm typing text 2. So when I put a comma outside of inverted commas, then it moves to text 3, which is this, right? And then when I put another comma, it moves to text 4. Then my text 4 has to be in open inverted commas, comma and space. And then close inverted commas, because this is something which is not inside a cell. This is something which I am, like a text which I am adding manually, right? So then to show that this is like for the computer to pick it up and tell it, okay, what I'm typing here, you need to show, right? So whatever is within the inverted commas only, the computer will pick, right? So then this when I enter this comma outside the inverted commas, then it moves to text 5, right? So if you all want, I will, instead of confusing with you all with the commas and the spaces, I will do another example after this. So then after D5, I have shown a comma and a space again within inverted commas. Then after that, now we are in text 6. Now we need to go to text 7. So to do that, I type in another comma. So now it's text 7. So my text 7 should be Colombo 8, right? Which is this cell. So then, then my final text, which is my text 8, is a full stop. So to move on to text 8, I need to put another comma, right? Now we are in text 8. My text 8 is a full stop. Now I can't just type in a full stop. I need to show it within inverted commas, close inverted commas, and then close brackets, because you always enter a formula within brackets, and then that's how you get it. I hope you all understood this, but I will show another example, a smaller one. Why we need to show this within inverted commas is because so now certain things, like for example this full stop and everything, now Excel is very function based, right? So sometimes there are so these formulas are pre-designed so that any additional text has to come within the inverted commas, because if not, it will not take it as a text. It will take it as a function or a formula or something. And then you might get an error in your function. What I will do is, okay, so I am going to type in my name, and I'm going to type Salim's name. I hope I spelled it right. And he has a 4 at the end as well. Then there is Dulasi's name. Right, so now what I want is on this cell, I want to show my name as 1. So I want to show my name as 1 on this cell. So I can use the concatenate function, right? So I use concatenate equals. Now I can select text 1 and text 2, right? I can select text 1 and text 2 and then close bracket just like that. But see, there is no space in between, right? So what I need to do is, I need to, instead of just selecting the 2 cells, as my text 2, I need to, within inverted commas, put a space, right? That's my text 2. And then I put a comma and then select my surname. And when I do that, then I get the name correctly. And then I can copy paste it here, and then I get the name correctly. So I have a request for the Excel sheet. Apparently someone just joined the session. If the team can just share it on the chat box, then So I have a couple of questions. You guys have sent me the, uh, formulas that you all have tried. Let me just take a look at them. Uh, so there are so many questions, guys. I'm sorry if I missed some of them out. Okay, okay, I will use this now. Safia has sent me this formula, so I'm going to show using this now. This is the formula that she has sent. This is for B3. Okay, so I'm going to paste the formula she sent here. Okay, so let's see where she has gone wrong, right? So this is the so first thing is between this bracket and concatenate there is a space, right? Okay, now she's fine with that. Now she has selected B3 C3 and now her D3 is not getting selected. Why is that? So does anybody have the answer? But then in the interest of time, so I will tell that myself. So after she closed her inverted comma, she has left a space and without putting a comma. So basically so initially it's part of this text 3 itself, right? Because she hasn't separated this part with a comma. So once she does that only, it will get separated. And then D3 is going to be a part of the function, right? So now this is her text 4. After D3, again she has left a space here, so that space does not have to come. And then again, so this part is fine. And after the closing inverted comma, she has to separate it again with another comma. And then she should not leave a space here for the house number. And this full stop, you should not type in manually. You need to put another comma and you need to open inverted commas and put your full stop within the inverted commas, because this is something of additionally entering. So there is an error. It's showing me an error. Okay. So the error here is after this comma, there is no, after closing inverted commas, there is no comma here. So always to separate each element of your text, you need to enter a comma here. So once you do that, it's correct, right? So I hope that is understood. I can take one more example which you all have sent in and then show it. So Akila, your function is correct, but the problem is you have put spaces in between. So if you remove all those spaces, then it will work. Same with basically it's the same in most of the functions that I have got. The problem is that you all have put spaces in between your function. So don't put spaces in between. Always only separate it with a column. Can we do this using 2007 and 2006? Actually, if I'm not mistaken, you can do this using 2007 because I remember So it should be working. So again, so I have few other functions coming in. Hakima, I don't see anything wrong with your function. Let me try it out. Taruti, your one, I think again it's the same space issue. You need to have the spaces in. So if you want to display a space in on your address, then you have to have the space in between your inverted commas only. But as part of the function, don't put spaces. Okay, let's take this one. So let's see what is wrong with this function. So again, after concatenate and the bracket, there is a space here, right? So that is one problem. The other one is after E4, there is a space, right? And then before D4 also there is a space. So your space should only be within your inverted commas, right? And then the other problem is your full stop is not part of the text 7, right? It's the next part of the text. So you need to separate it using a comma, and then you need to show the full stop within inverted commas, right? And then the other problem here is this closing bracket. So before this closing bracket, there is another space. So then when you do that, it works. I hope that is also understood. Then Shima, I think so. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but so the problem with your function is there is a space before opening your bracket. Try that without that and then it will work. So I think we can move on. Okay, so I am going to go back to my presentation and oops, sorry, I share the same thing again. So after concatenation, the next thing is text to column. So text to column is the opposite of concatenation. So say you have everything together, you want to separate it, you can use text to column. Okay, so I will show it using my Excel file. So then moving on to the third tab. Okay, so I know this is a lot to grasp actually. I mean, these are things, these are knowledge which I myself I have gathered through years. I mean, not to, I mean, a few months. If you keep using Excel, then you will be familiar with them. But so I will take you all through this. Maybe you all can write them down or do something so that you all will remember it. So now here, in this exercise, what I want is now a fact about our NIC numbers, not the new NIC number, the old NIC number. So yeah, so the old NIC numbers, the fact is the first two digits are, it tells your year of birth, right? Then the next three digits, your second digit to your fifth digit, it tells the date of birth. But for girls, they add 500 to it. For example, if your if Salim's birthday was on January 1st, then the next three numbers for him will be 001, right? Whereas if Dulasi's birthday was on January 1st, it will be 501, right? So for this exercise, I want you all to understand that. So what you all need to do is, so I want to break this down now, first thing. So I want to get the year of birth first into this first column. Then I want to get the next 3 digits, which shows my date of birth into this column, right? And then the rest of it into this column, because I mean, it doesn't, because in text to column, it breaks it down. So I am going to, so for the rest of it also, I will need a column. So to do that, I need to first select my data, right? And I need to I think there's someone in the waiting room and it's covering my Salim, yeah. So now there is something called text to column. So in your data tab, there is a option called text to column. When you click on that, you will get a window like this, right? So in our case, we just want to break it down by the number of characters, right? So in our so there are 2 options here. So this is so there is something called delimiter, then there is something called fixed width. Now, for example, in a previous example, those addresses, if you wanted to do the opposite, the addresses, they are separated by that comma, right? So we can use delimiter, and it says characters such as commas or tabs separate each field. So we can give it a command saying whatever that is separated by a comma, to put it into separate cells. Okay. So in this case, I'm using fixed width because it's the set number of digits, right? So I need to click next. When I click next, so since I selected fixed width, so I will get something like this with a scale on top. So what I need to do is after my first 2 digits, I need to click here. So then I get a line which separates all of them. Then after my next 2 digits, I need to click here. Then I get a line which separates the next 3 digits. Then the final one, you don't need to put a line. You can just finish it. Say I typed this in by accident, I can always double click it and then it will go off. Or else I say I clicked it on the wrong place, I can drag it and drop it and it will be at the end. So I am just going to remove this because I don't need this. So next, and where it says destination, I need to select it. I'm going to select here. So this is where my first data is going to go into, right? So that's the first cell. So whatever that comes will come after this, like downwards from this or frontwards from this. Okay, so enter and finish. So now what did it do? It broke it down. Did you all understand? Hafsa, that question about the V being simple or capital. So this is just raw data which I'm using to process. So whoever has entered it has entered it either capital or simple. So it doesn't really affect our function. Yes, I will redo the text to column so that you all can understand it. So once again, I will do it for this, and I will also show it for the addresses as well. Okay, so I'm going to delete this and I'm going to show it again. So I need to select my data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to in this data tab on top. So there are these tabs here. No? On this data tab, I'm going to select text to column, right? When I select text to column, I get this window here. So in that, so I have 2 options, either delimited or fixed width. So in delimited, say you have your addresses. Now I will take the addresses from the previous example and I will demonstrate it to you all again. Now in this case, I don't have anything separating these. No, so I just need to say, okay, first 2 figures I need in one column, next 3 figures I need in another column. So I'm saying fixed width, right? So I go to next. Then after these first 2 figures, I'm going to click, then I get a line here, right? So this line, if you go down, it's separating all of these. Okay, so there is a line here. Then next 3 digits I want in the next column because it's the date, right? So after the next 3 digits, I click and then I get another line here. So that those are my separators, right? So after my separators, I select next. Okay, so then after next, now what we need to do is this destination, where it says destination, I am going to select this cell, because if I keep it as this, then I am going to lose this data, because then 95 will come to this column, 068 will come to this column, and then the rest of it will come to this column. But that's not how I want it. I want 95 to come to this column, right? So I need to select this cell. Okay, so then I select that and then I select enter and then I finish it. So when I do that, it's broken down. So I hope you all understood that. Now I will take these addresses and I will show you all how to. So I'm going to value paste them here. So if I want to now break it down into this information which I had originally here. So basically I want to break it down by everything that is separated by a comma. So then I need to select all of this. I need to go to data and select text to column. Okay, so now what I'm doing here is I'm breaking down this address. Okay, so I'm going to use the delimited option. Why delimited? It's because we are going to separate everything, because in fixed width, now if I put a line here, it's going to get cut through it, right? Because now after road, if I put it, then from the bottom ones from Colombo, it's going to get cut, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select delimiter and then I am going to select comma, not tab, comma. So whatever that is separated by a comma will go into the separate cells. So now as my destination, I am going to select this, or I don't know, this, anything, and I'm going to select finish, and then I have it broken down. I hope you all understood. Okay. So I am going to explain this once more. Would you all like me to explain the delimited one or the fixed width one? Okay. So the one about the dates, so we will get to that. So when we do this birthday thing, delimited one. Okay. So I will, okay. So what I'll do is I'll do delimited once more and fixed width once more. So delimited for the ID numbers. So I'm going to delete all of this. So I am going to select this, right? And I am going to select on my data tab on the top, there is an option called text to columns, right? So on text to column, I'm going, when I click it, I will get a window here. Yeah, and there's a good question. Can you explain the difference between delimiter and fixed limited? I will show that after this one. So for now, I will show this fixed width one. So the difference is delimited. You don't separate it. You separate it using a certain character, like either comma, either a slash, either full stop. So you can tell whatever is separated by a full stop to put into separate cells. Whereas in fixed width now, for example, in NIC number, we don't have anything which is separating these numbers, right? So that's why we need to select fixed width. Okay, so now I need the first two first two digits onto one column. So after those two digits, I select uh, as in I click there, then I get a number. Then after these three digits, I click there, then I get another line. Okay, then when I do that, I need to hit next, and then I need to go to the destination. So I need my first data here. So I'm going to select that, and I am going to finish. And then I get all this data separately. Okay. I can't select the whole B column text because when I do so, B3 ID copied. Okay. So what you have done is, instead of clicking and dragging like this, you have gone to the end here, right? And then when this, if this plus sign is there and you drag and drop, that is going to happen. So make sure your plus sign is not shown. You need to go to the middle of it, click and drag and drop. We can calculate the gender by NIC. We will be doing that. Okay, and now I will explain. Okay, so NetMe don't use Google Sheets. Honestly, if most of these functions are not available on Google Sheets, or maybe they're available, but I don't think things like text to column and all of that, I don't think you can really do it using Google Sheets. If there is someone who knows how to do it, you can share your knowledge here. But I suggest and I recommend that you all you all download it and use it on normal Excel. So I don't know, I am a very traditional person. So if I am given a Google Sheet, I always download it. And if I have a lot of data, number crunching to do, I always download it, do that, and then re-upload it. So maybe I am not tech savvy enough, but yes. Yes, so now what I am going to do is I am going to again do the delimiter one again. So I'm going to delete all of this. So in delimiter, now what I will do is I will use fixed width on this and I'll show what will go wrong. Okay, so on data now, data text to column, I'm going to use fixed width, right? So then I go to next. Now I'm going to, okay, I don't need A straight, but after this I need to separate it by the columns. Okay, fine. Then after A street, I'm putting one. Then after January road, I'm putting another one. Right, and then next I am going to select this, enter, finish. Now did you all see what's wrong? Can you all see this Colombo has come somewhere else, the C has come somewhere else, September road, it has gone somewhere else. So that's what happens when you use fixed width on something like this. Now in our NICs we don't have that problem because it's the same number of characters. But in cases like words, if you use fixed width to do that, that is a problem that will come. So in this case it's very easy because there is a comma in between everything, right? So we can just give delimited and we can specify and say, okay, everything which is separated by a comma, please separate them. Then they will identify that and they will separate it. Now I'm going to select delimiter and I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to say comma. Okay, it's already selected. Next, destination. Excuse me, guys. Oh, sorry, my bad. Destination is this, enter, finish, and then we have it. And that looks much better than what was shown before. So I hope that is clear. Why do you highlight only the first column of the address instead of the complete data? I didn't understand that. You mean the destination? So when you on that function, so the first cell of that table, if you select it, it's enough. You don't really need to select everything. If that was your question, then that's the answer. So I can do it once more. Okay. So is there another way to do text to column? Because it shows only select delimiters and apply. I am not really sure what you mean. Then if you can just reword your question, that would be great. Can we eliminate the full stop we are getting in J column? Yes, we can. Uh, so what you can either use this text to column or text to column, or else what we can do is simply you can select all of this and you can select Control H. Okay, Control H. When you select Control H, there is an option called Find and Replace. I think you can get it from Home also. Yeah, so on Home, Find and Select, when you go, there is something called Replace. When you select that, this option comes. Easy way is to select Control H. Then you can say find full stop, replace with what? Nothing, right? So then you replace all, then everything goes. All done. We made 10 replacements. I hope that answered your question. And thank you for that question. That was an interesting one.
Nimesha, you're on mute.
Salim, was I on mute for a while or?
No, just now.
Okay. So yes, I will do the delimited one again. Um, so what I need to do is I need to select my data. I need to select from this data tab on the top, I need to select text to column. Once I do that, I select delimited here, right? And then, so now it says something called delimiters now. Under delimiters, now in my address, I want to separate everything which is separated by a comma, right? So in that under delimiters, I'm going to select comma. If you want something which is separated by say a slash or something, then you can select other and enter that here. So then I go to next as my destination. So this is where the broken down information is going to come to. So I'm going to select this cell and enter. I'm going to select enter. Then the destination is selected. Then I select finish. So when I select finish, it comes. Okay. Why do you highlight only the first column of the address? Okay, it's not the first column of the address. Okay, so it's the entire address is in one column. It's just shown as one. So because of the width of that column, but actually it's the whole column that I'm selecting. I hope that is clear. Okay, I will repeat fixed width as well once more. So I'm going to delete this, then select the information, then text to column, sorry, select the data, then delimited, sorry, fixed width, then next. Then where I need to break down my data, I'm going to click, right? So after 95, I want a breakdown. So 95, I'm going to click. Then after 068, I want a breakdown, that I'm going to click. right? So in case I click somewhere else, I can always double click it and remove it. Okay. So then next, and as my destination, I'm going to select here. So this cell. Okay. So I'm going to select enter, and then I'm going to select finish. So when I do that, uh, it gets broken down. Now I hope that is clear. Why is the data preview showing incorrect data in Delimiter? I am not too sure what exactly you mean. Because if you select the correct data, usually it will show the correct one. So I am not really sure what exactly you mean. And I can also show you how to remove this full stop once again, because I have been asked to do that. So I need to select all of this, right? Then, so the long way of doing it is home, and you need to go to find and select and replace. The easy way of doing it is you can select Control and H, right? So when you do Control and H, you need under find what, right? Under find what, you need to select full stop, replace with what? With nothing at all, right? Then you replace all, then it says all done, we made 10 replacements. Okay, so then we have removed the full stop. Okay, I hope that is clear now, and I believe we can move on to the next one. So I'm going to stop sharing this, go back to my presentation. So the next one is a basic if function. I am not going to go into the detailed ones because I think that will be covered in your advanced Excel session. So I will just show you how to do a basic if function. So moving back to my Excel. So before that I will, yeah, so it's fine. I will move back to my Excel, right? So now I told y'all that if it is a girl, if it is female, if the gender is female, that 500 will be added to their date of birth, right? So which is their next 3 digits, right? So if it is a girl, so the next 3 digits in your NIC number will be above 500, right? So this is a basic if function where so you can say, so if whatever data, now these are the 3 digits which are broken down, so which tells the date of birth. So basic if function is, so if this is above 500, then that means it's a girl, right? If it is below 500, it's a boy. So I can do that by using this if function, right? I can say equals if, right? So in an if function, there are 3 parts. So logical test means, so like I said, if this is above 500, so that's my logic test, right? Then if it is true, now if this is actually above 500, what do I want it to do? I want it to display that it's F for female, right? So I want it to display that it's F. So if this is above 500, then I need to display that it's F. If it's not, I need to display that it's M, right? So then close brackets. So I hope that is understood. So I first put the logic test, then the what I need to do if this logic test is true. So if this is above 500, I want it to show F. If this is not above 500, so which means in other words below, but if it is not, technically it means if it is below, but what they are asking is if it is not above 500, you need to show M. So this first NIC number is unarms. So Excel is telling me that unarmed is a male. So it must be true, I guess. So then when I copy paste it, this if function will change and accordingly it will tell that it's male or female. Do you all want me to? Yes, I will explain it again. So in a if function, there are three parts, right? So when you select if equals if, right, and open bracket, there is logic test. There is value if true, there is value if false, right? So my logic test here is going to be, if this is above 500, I want it to show the letter F. If it is below, if it is not above 500, I want it to show that the letter M, right? So I am going to say equals if if this is above 500, then within inverted, again, like I said, if I just put F, it's going to think that it's some cell or something, right? So so because I want it to display F, I am going to put it within inverted commas, right? So within inverted commas F, comma, comma. So again, to separate the parts, we need to always use comma. So now this is the value if true, right? So then I need to put a comma to go to value if false. So to go to value if false, I am going to I put a comma, then I need to show M, right? Male. So M. M within inverted commas, then close brackets. So then I can copy paste it, and accordingly it will change by the row. Is that clear? Let's see the questions. So is there no element to say not? So the third part of our if function is, if it is not, what we have to do. How do you copy and paste? If you just copy and paste it, it will change the function. So like I said, even when you add or even the sum or anything, unless you freeze it, when you copy and paste it based on the row that you're copying and pasting, it will change. Now if you, so go to the formula bar here and see, now when I'm moving this, see it's changing based on the row, right? So I am not going to really go to the function part where you get the birthday here, because it's a bit too complicated, and I think that will be covered in your advanced Excel session. If you all want to, I can do that as well, but I will move on to the next area. But if you all have questions so far from what is there, okay. So just for I don't want you all to get confused with this. So I will just demonstrate. It's the same logic that will apply. So I am just going to say if. So here now I can straight away get the birthday here, right? Like this, if I get this, then the birthday will come. So I have changed it into date format from the top here. So then when I select that number, the birthday will come. So Anam's birthday is on Women's Day. So that's why it says 8th March here. So that is correct. So now when I take this here, it will show the date here, right? But we have a problem if it is a girl, because we can't just straight away take this, right? We need to remove 500 from this and only take the date, right? Because there is 500 added. Now see 700 there is not even 700 days in a year, right? So for that we need to use another if function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say equals if, okay, open brackets. Now if this is above 500, okay, if this is above 500, I am going to this cell minus 500, right? So if it is above 500, I'm telling you to remove 500. If not, you need to just show that, right? So then that is what it's going to do. It's going to remove the 500 and show the date. So I hope you all understood the basic logic of a if function. So basically you need to give the logic test, then if it is true, what we need to do, and if it is not true, what to do. Okay, in C column 95, is there a way to make it 1995? There is. So now I have broken it here. So what I can do is I can in a separate cell I can say equals, I can use concatenate for this, and I can say my first text is within inverted commas 19, right? Close inverted commas, then comma. Then I can select this and close brackets. So then says 1995. If you have the question asking whether there is a way to automatically change it, not really, because in this case it's in general format because we have broken it down from here, no? So you need to manually, like using concatenate, you need to add that if you want to. Okay, how I found the birthdays. So like I said, in your NIC, automatically your birthday is only there. So now in Anam's NIC number, the first the next three digits 0068, right? It means 68, right? So Anam was born on the 68th day of the year, which is 8th March. So you can directly take this, right? So you can now if I take this here. Now I know it just shows as 68, but I can go here. I can say date, right? Or short date, or I can go to number formats, and now date, and there are different formats of the date. So I can select this one. So generally you don't need to go into your settings. You can just straight away select it from say, okay, here there is a suggestion here, there is a suggestion here. So like that, there are different suggestions. If you are not happy with these suggestions only, you need to change it. So basically every date that you show on your Excel, it's actually a number. So it shows which number it is. So in this case, it's the 68th day of the year. So that's why it's showing this way. I hope that is clear. If you all want me to explain this function again, I'll explain it. So like I said, 68 is the date. Basically, if you even if you change these into date, you will get a date. Like even if you change the format of these into date, there will be some date. So I don't want it to be a date. So it has to be a number. So I'm going to keep it that way, but you all get the idea, right? Any date which is shown on Excel is a number. So I need to show so I need to show the birthday of each of these people here, right? So now for like I said, for girls, 500 is added. So I mean, for boys, I can directly just take 68 and change it. Even it won't make a difference, but it will be a problem. It will be inaccurate when it comes to boys. So what we need to do there is, if it is above 500, we need to remove 500. So to do that, you need to say equals if, right? And your logic test is if. So if this is, so it's like, so like I just told you in a sentence, right? If it is above 500, we need to remove 500. So just like that, you need to type your if function. So if D3 is above 500, then you need to say D3 minus 500, right? Then if it is not, so then the third part of it is value is false, right? So if it is not, then straight away only D3, right? So then you close your bracket and then you copy paste it. I hope that is clear. So I think we'll move on to the next part. Stop share. Share screen. So then now there is something called Vlookup. Vlookup, it's a little complicated if you are new to it, but it's something that makes your life very easy when you're dealing with like big sets of data. So I will just demonstrate how you all can do that. So now moving back to my Excel file, you all can see the Excel file, right? Yeah. So yeah, moving on to my Excel file. Now here, my problem is I have now say these are my board members NICs, right? And I have a full list of all of my members here, right? So, but only for these members, I want the addresses here. Now, this is some form that I'm going to send to the district, apparently, right? So, I want the addresses for only for these people here, right? So, if I want, I can find this by this NIC, I can find it manually and look for it and then copy paste it. But there is a faster way of doing it. So, the fast way of doing it is using VLOOKUP. So when you use VLOOKUP, you can just say equals VLOOKUP. It's a little complicated, so listen carefully. So VLOOKUP. So now to do VLOOKUP, you must always have a unique value. Now in our case, it's the NIC number, right? So here also the NIC number is there. In that other big table also, the NIC number is there. So we are using the NIC number to search for it, right? So we are saying, okay, lookup value is this. Lookup value is this, right? So you need to select that cell, then comma, then your table array is the table from which you are going to select your data, right? Then you need to select that entire table. Okay, so you need to select the full table from which it has to look for the addresses, and you need to freeze it. Now, why you need to freeze it is so when you're copying and pasting the VLOOKUP to the bottom cells, it's the table that you're selected also is going to change the bottom cells, right? So you don't want that moving because it's from the same table only. They have to look for the data, right? So I'm going to do that. Then column index number is, now you want the address, right? So address is in the second column. Now say there were so many data and address is in the say fourth column, then you have to put 4. Now in our case, address is only in the second column. So you have to select 2. Then range lookup is, so if it is somewhere close to it, and if you're okay with the data being there, it says approximate match. You can select true, right? But if you want the exact same number to be looked up, then you need to select false, which is exact match. Now you can no harm in using approximate match, but there are chances of it going wrong. So because if you use approximate match, even if there is something which is close to, say there is an NIC number and one digit is different, still it will pick it. So in this case, I'm going to select false match, exact match, which is false. Then I'm going to close bracket and enter. Then it got Anam's address here. Anam stays on 19A Roberts Road. So likewise, if I copy paste it, it will look up and it will tell. Now I will demonstrate this again for your benefit. So once again, I will demonstrate this. So what I am going to do is, so my problem here is I have a big list of addresses, right? But I want addresses only for these few people. Now, if I want, I can manually look at it. I mean, manually look at it and enter it. But that's going to take time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say equals VLOOKUP. Okay. then open bracket, then my lookup value. Lookup value is the unique value which I'm going to look for it. Now, NIC number is the one that which I'm going to use. Now, sometimes there might be a membership ID or something, or or the name might be the unique lookup value. So there should be some unique number which will combine that table to this table. So now in this case, it's a NIC number. So I will select B3, right? And then I will select a comma. Then my table array is the table from which I need to look for the addresses, right? So you're telling Excel, okay, Excel, go look for the address for this person with this NIC from this table. So I selected this table. When I select the table, I need to make sure to freeze it, because if I don't freeze it and when I'm copy pasting it, when I'm going to the bottom, the table that I have selected is also going to change. So we don't want that happening, right? So that is my table array. Then the next part is my column index number, right? My column index number is, now I want the addresses, right? So addresses are in my second column. Now, if I want my addresses, so say my address was in the third column and I want the addresses, then I put 3. So in our case, it's in the second column. So you put 2, right? And then the next part is, it asks you whether whether you want it to look for an approximate match or an exact match, right? So an approximate match means somewhere close to that number. Also, if there is some number, it will still match it. But in this case, I'm selecting exact match, because NIC number, if it is different by even 1 digit, then it's a different person, right? So I'm going to say false. And then I'm going to do that. Then I get the address. Yes, primary key in this primary key is a word used in database language, but yes, that's the one you need to use. Hold on. Yeah, so okay, so you need to freeze, yeah, and then you can select F4 to freeze. You get not available for some rows. That's because you haven't frozen your table. So like I said, now say for example, now if I haven't frozen this table here, right, if I am just going to select this, right, I'm going to select this and enter, right? So now I didn't freeze the table. Now when I copy paste it here, it's going to change. See, when I go from row to row, check on my formula bar, right? It's going to change with the row that I'm pasting it. Whereas if I freeze this, right? Right, if I freeze this and then copy paste it, then it's going to be the same table for all these cells. So you need to make sure you freeze it. How to freeze the table is, after you select the table, you need to select F4. You need to select F4. In some computers it's FN and F4, or else you can manually enter dollar signs. So I hope that is clear. Yeah, I'll do VLOOKUP once more. So I am going to delete this data again. And so I need to get the address from the other sheet. So I say VLOOKUP. Sorry. Equals VLOOKUP. And then my lookup value is the unique value, which is my NIC number. So I select that, then comma. Then my table array is a table from which I need to look for the data, right? So this is the table with the NIC numbers, right? So I select this table, okay? And then I need to freeze the table. So Something happened. Okay, so I need to freeze the table. So it's frozen. So I explained why we need to freeze this table. Then column index number is the column on which the data that you want to get is. Now you want to get the addresses, so the addresses are on the second column. Whereas if you want to get, if say you have some their designation on the third column and you want to get the designation, you need to select 3. You need to enter 3. Whereas in our case, the addresses are in the second column, so you are entering 2. Okay. So then after that, there is true and false. So true and false, if you say true, even if it's even if the unique value, even if the unique value is somewhere close to what we have selected, it will pick it. So this is mostly where we have words and everything. So say we are looking for something by name, and some names there can be spelling mistakes in between sheets, no. So in this case, but the NIC number from person to, as in even if one digit changes, that means it's a whole different person, right? So in our case, we need to select exact match. So false and close bracket and enter. I hope that is clear. Okay, you can't, if you can't get, as in you can't, if you can't freeze it. So how you need to freeze it is, you need to select your table, and after you select your table, you need to select F4, or in some computers it's FN and F4, right? If that also doesn't work, then you need to enter $signs before B, before 27, and before A, before 2 manually. So the thing is, you can always change the settings in your keyboard from your computer. So for free cells, you can go and change the settings. I have never done that, because most of the, I mean, I haven't come across a computer which doesn't have either FNF4 or F4 which doesn't freeze, but I have heard that that is there. So if that happens, you all can go to the settings and change it, or else you all can manually enter it. Okay. So I have a question asking if they will get the recording. I am not sure. The team has to decide that. So, okay, F4 wouldn't freeze, and if usually FN is there. So, I think that is something to do with your keyboard settings. So you might want to check your keyboard settings. So the time being, you can manually enter $signs before A, and before 2, and before B, and before 27. I hope that is clear, and I hope it is okay. If you get not available, that means there's something wrong with your function. And I think what is wrong with your function is that you haven't frozen your table. So then only in this case, most of the time you get not available when you haven't frozen the cell. So in the interest of time, I am going to move on to the next part, but maybe you all might have few minutes for questions. So the next part is something called pivot tables. So pivot tables is something which you can use to process your data to get totals and everything, right? So I will run through 3 of these, and then I will go to the Excel sheet. Then there is something called conditional formatting. Conditional formatting is something which you can use to, for example, if you want to see what is higher than a certain number, what is lower than a certain number, then you can use this conditional formatting. So I will show you all how to use it. Then there is something called sort and filter. This is very basic. And so for now, I will move on to the Excel sheet and show you all how to do this. So I am going to go to my sheet 5. In my sheet 5, I have a list of expenses, and I have a list of projects on which these expenses were incurred and the amount that was incurred on them, right? Then so if I want to sort of process this data and sort of get like a summary of this data, I can use something called pivot tables. So for that, I need to select this whole set of data, right? For this, I need to select the whole set of data, and I need to go to insert, and there's an option here called pivot table, right? In pivot table, so when you select pivot table, you get a window like this, right? So when you get that window, so now you have already selected your data range. Then it asks you if you want your pivot table on a new worksheet or an existing worksheet. So I'm going to keep it as new worksheet, and then I'm going to select OK. When I select OK, now I get something weird like this on another new sheet, which it has automatically opened. Now, when that happens, you need to, now there is something called pivot table fields. Now, say I want a project-wise break total of expenses, right? So what I need to do is I need to click here on projects. Then as my row, I get projects. Then I want the amounts, right, as my value. So when I click on values, it will come here. And it will automatically come as a sum of amounts. If you want, you can change it to count or something like that. Is that understood? Now say I want, for each project, I want to do an analysis for all the projects, how much I have incurred on certain expenses. So I want an expense-wise analysis. So I select, instead of project, I select expense, and I select amount. I hope that is clear. I'm going to go to the questions. I can see so many coming. Yes, I will repeat. I will repeat the pivot table. So I'm going to delete this and do it again, because I don't want my Excel file to be cluttered. So I select all my data and just go to insert and select pivot table, right? And then I need it in a new worksheet. So I just say, let it be new worksheet, and I say, okay. Now when I say okay, I get these pivot table fields, right? So for that, I need to either select expense. So if I want an expense-wise summary, I'm going to say expense, and I'm going to select amounts, then amounts will come here as values. So you just need to tick it off. Say accidentally it comes somewhere else, and you want the expenses as columns, you can go drag and drop it to columns. But I want it as rows, so I'm going to drag it and drop it to rows. So is that clear? And then if you click on it, always this comes up, and then you can do any changes you like. Okay, I will explain this once more. It's pretty basic. So what I will do is, now I have a list of expenses, and I have the project for which this expense is incurred, and then the amount, right? So I want, now if I want to get a summary, for example, for each project, how much cost expenses I have incurred, right? So I need to select all of this, right? I need to select this entire table, right? Including the table headings, okay? And then I need to go to this insert tab here, and I will select pivot table. Now when I select pivot table, I will get a window like this. Now when I get the window, then I can either select new worksheet or existing on the same worksheet itself. I can put the pivot table. So I prefer to keep it as new worksheet, because then then you will not get confused with the available data, or it will like not change. So I will keep it as a new worksheet, and then I select OK. Then a new worksheet will open. There is no table or anything here, because it gives you the option to select what you want. Now I want a project-wise summary of my expenses. Now I have the expense column here, data here. I have the project column data here. I have the amount column data here, right? So, but what I want is a project-wise summary of my expenses. So then I will click on project here. Then it will automatically come to this rows. To where it says rows, it will come here. Right, so here if you can see, it says project, right? Okay, then now I want my values should be amounts, right? So I don't need a table with only the projects now. So I need to select amounts. So when I select amounts, it will come the sum of all the amounts to values. Is that clear? If you close the pivot table, you can always add it again. As in, okay, you mean on the side, if you mean on the side, this pivot table fields part. Okay, I'm going to close it like this, right? It's closed. If I click on this table here, it will come back again, and you can change it again. Where are my questions? Okay. So I'm going to show you and move on to the next sheet. So sorry, not the next sheet, but the other part of it which I explained called conditional formatting, right? So conditional formatting is, now say I want to see on what I have incurred expenses above say 100,000. So I want to see, okay, what are my expenses above 100,000? So for that I can use something called conditional formatting, right? To do that, I need to select all of these, okay? And then in home, there's this option right here called conditional formatting. So in conditional formatting, I can select this highlight cell rules part, okay? Then I can, now there are different rules here, greater than, less than, between, equal to, so like that, okay? So now here I want greater than 100,000. So I'm going to say greater than, and here I'm going to specify saying 100,000. And then I can change the formatting. I can say green fill, light red fill, red text. So I'm going to say light red fill. Okay. So now what it has done is it has highlighted everything which is above 100,000. So that is conditional formatting. Did you all understand? Do you all want me to repeat this? Is this okay, or yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You just need to select it and go to conditional formatting, and then give the commands. So top bottom rules means, say I want to select the top 10 items, like the highest 10 items. Then, okay, I'm going to say top 10, give it with the red text. Okay. So then my top 10 items got highlighted in red. So that you can, by reading, is pretty self-explanatory. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I will explain this again. So it's just the matter of selecting the data, okay, and then going to conditional formatting, right? So this, when you select conditional formatting, there are two types which you can use. Either highlight cell rules, which are like it has greater than, less than, between, equal to, or else there is something called top bottom rule. So whereas, yeah, like I can tell, okay, the highest 10 items or the top 10% or bottom 10 items or above average. So above average, so it will automatically calculate and it will give you, like you can give some formatting to that. Now in this case, I selected greater than. Now this, I'm going to say, okay, greater than 200,000. Okay, I'm going to say fill with light red fill. So anything about 200,000, I'm telling to fill in light red. So then it selected all these ones which are above 200,000 and highlighted them. So I guess that is understood. Okay, I have been asked what is the purpose of a pivot table. So purpose of a pivot table is, see, I can get a summary. Right now here, see Saturday celebrations. I don't know who spelled it like that. Definitely not me. Anyway, so for Saturdays, so here I have a whole list of expenses, right? So for IR Bowl, I have what are the expenses, but it's all jumbled up. Okay, for Westgate Day, I have different expenses. For the installation ceremony, I have different expenses. um, so there are different uh, there are different expenses where as in for different projects. So now using the pivot pivot tables, I took a project wise summary of the total expenses. So that is the so instead of taking one by one and adding it separately, I could, using the pivot table, I can select, I can as in get a summary of all the expenses by project. Of the ones that are greater than. Okay, to highlight, you just need to go here. You can either select it using this D and this arrow, or else you can just select it and so okay, so I have a keyboard shortcut which I use, so it's shift control and bottom arrow, so then that's why it goes pretty fast. I don't want to confuse you all with all of that, but if you all want to know, so it's shift and control together with the bottom arrow, then only it goes, or shift and control together with the right arrow. So that is what I use. But y'all can most certainly like manually drag and drop, or y'all can click on this as well. Okay, so I guess we are okay. So then I am going to show you all how to do sort and filter. This is also pretty basic. So say I want to sort these in like by project, or I want to sort the amounts by descending order or ascending order, right? So for that there is a function called sort and filter. So now I'm going to copy paste this onto another sheet because I don't want to mess this up. So I'm going to so once I select once I copy pasted it, I can see I'm going to select filter. I'm going to select this table, right? Once I select this table on home, there is an option here called sort and filter. So now using sort and filter, one way I can use it is I can click on it and I can say filter, right? Then when I use filter, I can now when I use filter, I get these tiny arrows on top of each column, right? So when I type on this, when I click on these tiny arrows, I get options to filter it, right? I can say instead of select all, I want only the IR ball expenses. So I say select that and I select OK. Then I want to get only the chart day celebrations ones. I select that and I select OK. Right? So that is filtering. Okay. Now if I want, I can if I want to arrange the data, now if I want to arrange the data in descending order of this, I can also click this and say sort largest to smallest. Then it's going to change the order completely. Okay, so that is what we can do. Then there's another one called so when you get those arrows, you can either change it like that. Then you can sort A to Z by project, by expense, A to Z by expense. So likewise, you can do like arrange it the way you want, or you can filter and take for viewing purposes only the information that you want. Is there a shortcut to select the entire table? So like I said, that shift control right arrow, sorry, my bad. Shift control right arrow and shift control downwards will move to the end of the most active cell. If you want to select the whole sheet, you can select shift and space bar for an entire row, and control and space bar for the columns downwards. Okay, so I have a question again about the conditional formatting part. So I am going to explain it like from the beginning again. No fill. Okay, remove conditional. So conditional formatting is you need to select your data, and then you need to go to so you need to go to conditional formatting under home, and then you can select either, so and under highlight cell rules you can select either greater than, less than, between, equal to, anything that you like. Okay, so greater than is so I selected greater than. Now I want anything greater than, say 1 million. Okay, so I'm going to enter 1 million here, and then I can select what type of formatting I want, whether I want it in red text, in a red border, light red fill. So likewise, red border. Now I'm going to say red border. Okay. So now everything with a red border is above 1 million. So I hope that is understood. So that is it about formatting, etc. I think now I will take any other questions that are coming even from the session. So if you all have any more questions, you all can send it in. Okay, so let me check out the questions. Okay, sort and filter. Okay, I will explain that. That is very easy. So I'm going to remove the filters again. Remove filters, and then so what you need to do is you need to select your table for which you need to apply your filters. Okay, so I selected my table. So now I am going to select in sort and filter under home. There is a drop down, and in that drop down I am going to select filter. So then when I selected filter, I got these tiny arrows here, right? So these tiny arrows, for each column, I can go and do whatever I want. So when I click on this, this arrow on this column, now if I want to arrange my numbers in descending order, I can select sort largest to smallest. So when I selected that, the entire rows, it will get arranged. That's because I selected the entire table when I was filtering, and the filter was applied to all three columns, right? If I selected only this row and I applied filters, then only this row will change. So make sure that you select the entire table. So now say I want to arrange my expenses in order of the project. So now I'm going to say sort A to Z the projects, and then I'm going to then it will get arranged in alphabetical order. Then say I want to get a summary of expenses. I want to see what are the costs that I have incurred on refreshments. So then I used filter. So the difference between sort and filter is in filter it's like a temporary view of what you select. So when you want to filter something out, you can just get this and you can just tick something, but the others won't get deleted or others won't get changed. They will just come up as in, if you want refreshment cost only, if you give the command, only the refreshments will get filtered and come up. So if you select then say I want refreshments and transport for invitees, so for those two, when I select those two, then whatever that says transport for invitees and refreshments, they will get filtered. Okay, so I hope that answered the question. Freeze function doesn't work for F4 and N4. That, of course, that will be a thing with your keyboard setting. So you need to go check your keyboard setting, or else you will have to manually enter. But so maybe it's pretty easy. You can like just go Google search with your laptop model and find. So Google search your laptop model and how to freeze keys on Excel. So then it will tell you what you need to do. Ascending or descending order, it's pretty easy. So I'm going to remove filters. So you just need to, after we applied the filters here, we just need to go to this drop down, and on top here it says sort smallest to largest, or it says sort largest to smallest, right? So sort largest to smallest option gives you descending order, smallest to largest gives you ascending order. Conditional formatting, yes, I can repeat it. So I am going to remove all conditions. Here rules. Right. So you need, for conditional formatting, you need to select the set of data, and then on home, there is this option called conditional formatting here. So all you need to do is you need to click on it. When you click on it, you will get a drop down. Now in that drop down, there are two types. There is highlight cell rules and there is top bottom rules. So in highlight cell rules only, you have, if it is less than this amount, okay, highlight it. If it is greater than this amount, highlight it. If it is between these two amounts, you can highlight it. So likewise, you can select the basically the logic test that you want to apply on this, right? So whatever less than, so now say this time I want what is less than, say 500,000, right? So I want cells that are less than 500,000. So when I click on that less than, this window will come up. Then when that window comes up, I have to select 500,000. Right? I have to enter 500,000. Then whatever that is below 500,000 will get selected. Now I can specify the formatting that I want. I can say I want a red text. Or I can say I want green fill with dark green text. So like that I can specify it. So then it will get highlighted. Is there a shortcut key to move between? Yes, there is. Uh, so for certain computers, it's control page up and page down. You all can try it and see. Sometimes it's FN page up and page down. Uh, so you all can try it and see on your laptops which one is using, which one works for you all. So that way you all can move in between the tabs instead of clicking on the tabs. On this laptop, actually, I don't really know which option is being used. But so if that doesn't work, you all can also try Control and FN together and arrow keys. Then that also works. Okay, how do you get the highlighted stuff separately? Okay, I can I can show you all that as well. So again, it's the same thing to do with going back to this sheet. Now I have got this colored in green, right? So I want to filter these only. So then there is something called filter by color. So same thing, when you click on this arrow here, there's something called filter by color. So I can filter it by cell color. And then whatever that is colored, it will come up. Okay, any other questions? So if there are no other questions, you all can, I can go back to my presentation and close it off. So, so I think we are good to close off. Salim, are we good to close off? So if you all have any further questions, my contact details are here. You all can contact me. I mean, you all can just drop me a message on WhatsApp. Prank calls won't work on me. Don't bother about it.
Thank you so much, Nimesha, and over to you, Priyandan.
So once again, thank you so much, Nimesha, for this entire two pure basics of Excel. Like for those who Excel was a new thing for them. I hope you have learned at least more than 50% of what Nimesha taught. And for everyone who already knew but didn't have quite a chance to like work on this frequently, I hope this is a refresher for you. So overall, a very knowledgeable session. Thank you, Nimesha, for that. Once again, let me remind you, Platinum partner Stacks. Stacks is a management consulting firm providing actionable and data-driven answers to clients' critical strategic questions. And they are based in Boston, New York, Chicago, as well as Colombo. And we have EasyLink Academy as our knowledge partner. As you all know, EasyLink Academy was the first virtual academy in Sri Lanka, which was launched in 2019, even before the pandemic. They realized the potential in lectures that is done virtually. And right during the pandemic, it really helped all the students out there in the commerce stream to really ace their exams by really giving understandable lectures and also other knowledge. So EasyLink is again opening their new intake at the end of this month. So if you all have any questions, get in touch with EasyLink Academy. So now, guys, let me talk more about the project now. And y'all can drop any questions y'all have regarding the workshop and the project hereafter. So tomorrow we will be having the advanced workshop. on Excel, which will be done by Mr. Radish Aponsu. So Mr. Radish Aponsu is a real expert at Excel, and he will be covering many advanced functions across Excel for tomorrow. Now, the question that might be running in your head is, why are we doing these workshops, and what is the real use of these workshops for you all to take part in this contest? So as you all know, the cash prize is a total sum of 35,000. So our partners have partnered with us not to just give this 35,000 away just because you know a few basic Excels and you know a few functions that you can Google and use it. We are really testing your how y'all can really put these functions and put these formulas into a day-to-day case study, and how well you can present it. So this two workshops, so today is Nimesha's workshop and tomorrow is Radish's workshop, is going to give you the exact instructions on how to perform those functions, how to use these formulas, in what cases could you use it, and how to present this information in a way that your stakeholders can understand. So the first session, so which was done today, there will be the phase one, which is the rapid level. So in this rapid level, what you will be getting is basically a MCQ, where you will be answering the questions. All the questions are compulsory, and you will be answering all these questions. And you will be, and the top teams who have answered most of the answers right will be moving on to the case study level. So from the case study, you will get a time slot. According to the team, you will get a time slot where you will have to work on this case study and make a proper worksheet, and you have to submit it to the organizing committee. As you submit it to the organizing committee, then our partners will go through it and will select the winner. So this is how it is going to work. I'll give you a 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, and I'll keep my chat box open. Please let me know if you all have any questions. Salim, we have been recording this session, so there's a way we can share this presentation, right?
It's still under discussion. We have not taken decision on that yet, because we need to confirm from tomorrow's session, the instructor, whether if he's willing to share his the content. If that is the case, we will definitely be uploading this on our YouTube channel, and we'll be sharing the link on the group.
All right, solid. Answering Dilushka Gimel's question, the MCQ thing, is Ashwini or Ruvalima here? As far as I got to know from the organizing committee, you will be allowed to choose a time slot within a selected period of days, and you will be given to fill that MCQ paper. Correct, Ashwini?
Yeah, so rapid fire round will happen after all the workshops, and that will be next week. Once we complete all the workshops, we will be having the competition rounds.
Sorry. Can you clear about the time slots for this?
Yes. So it's important that all of you are in the project groups. If your team members are not on the group, please get in touch with one of the group admins and share the contact numbers, and we'll add them to the group. So it will be easy for us to communicate with you all as well. So team leaders, if you all are not added to the project group, make sure to contact us, and we will be adding you all to the group along with your team members.
The session tomorrow will start at 9 in the morning, and the rapid question session will be not tomorrow, it will be next week. And the organizing committee will get in touch with all the team leaders to sort out your selected time slots. Is there any more questions? So here, will the competition round be done together as a team or individually? So as this is a team competition, so since you and your partner will be taking part together, this will go as a team submission. And is the whole competition going to be done through Zoom? Yes, it is completely a virtual competition because of the entire COVID situation. We are not planning to have anything physical. Correct. The class is tomorrow at 9 a.m. As of now, we have not finalized on the number of teams that will be advancing into the second level. What we have thought is we are going to keep out a cutout marks based on how all the teams have answered the question, and whoever who has more than that certain percentage will be going on to the next level. Should me and my teammate be at the same place? No, as long as you are at your house in front of a computer, that's all, computer or a phone where you have access to the materials we send, that's all you need to have. What if you don't have a team? If you all have been added to the group, or if you all have been added to the WhatsApp group, please reach out to one of the admins there so they can try their best to get you into a team. And if you're not on any WhatsApp group, please reach out to one of the co-hosts in this chat so they will reach out to you. And just letting you know, I just got an answer for one of your previous questions, which is the number of teams that will be moving on to the next level. So we have planned to let 20 teams go on into the next level. So as of now, we have more than 100 teams. However, for the second level, the best 20 teams will be going and advancing into the next level. Okay, that's a good question. What if we have an old version of Excel where some functions and formula isn't available? So guys, again, that is a very valid question. Please get in touch with us again. Either if you're on the WhatsApp group, please get in touch with the group admins. And if you're not on the WhatsApp group, please get in touch with one of the co-hosts. What we are planning to do is we can get you all a cracked version of Excel of the latest version through which you all can work on Excel. So with that, you will be having access to all the functions of the Excel. Unfortunately, we don't have any keys of Microsoft to give you all the original version, so we will be giving out cracked versions. How many questions do we get in each level? Ashwini, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, so in the rapid fire session, we will be having around 50 questions. And in the case study, it will be a 1 case study, 1 2-hour case study.
Solid. So let me repeat again. The first round, which is the rapid fire question round, will have 50 MCQs, 50 MCQs. And the final round will have a case study, which you all have to crack it in 2 hours. How many members would one team have? So you can have a team of up to 3 members, which means you can either have 2 or 3 members in your team. Yes, the rapid fire is an MCQ session. Do each member need to answer different questions in rapid fire? No, it will be one submission for a team. So both of your teams need to discuss together and answer one questionnaire. So the cracked version will be provided before the rapid round, or we should request it for now. So only if you all request it from us, then we will know that you have a need for it, and then we can do the necessary deeds to get you all the version and the software on time. So please get in touch ASAP. And your update on the group as well. Yes, all updates that we're giving here will be summarized and put on the WhatsApp groups. So if you all don't have access to the WhatsApp groups, please send in your numbers to the co-host so we could add you all to the WhatsApp group. How long will the rapid hour round go for?
So we will be giving you 2 hours to complete all the questions. Since I feel so much of you have questions on the rapid round, tomorrow we will show you an example of what kind of questions you will get and how you can answer them, and all the questions, like we can answer all your questions tomorrow. I will show you an example of what will be the quiz like. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Ashwini. Could you please explain about the case study round? Giving you all a brief explanation, if you all have no idea what a case study is, a case study is basically where a few figures, like maybe revenue figures or maybe profit figures, will be given, and along with some other numerical figures, and some analysis would be asked to be done. So these analysis is based on the functions that will be taught in these 2 workshops. So as long as you pay attention to the workshops, you will be able to crack that case study, and you have to present your findings in a presentable manner in 2 hours. So which is why we're giving you that entire 2 hours to read that case study, to understand it, to do the calculations, and then present it in a very user-friendly manner. How long do we get to answer a question? So you got 2 hours to answer 50 questions. Y'all can do the math from there. So each team will be answering all 50 questions. And all right. So as of now, we haven't thought about the fastest answering team. We are only looking for the top 20 teams with the best answers, best score. Yes, only one team will be the winner, where the second team will be the runners-up. In any case, because the case study is completely based on the judge's decision, and it is not like ones and zeros. It's based on their ideas of how they think, how well you have presented your findings, will make you the winner. So yes, there will be only one team who will be the winner.
And also, Priyandan, I just want to tell, don't worry, we'll be sharing all the information about the competition with you all, with the group leaders or the team leaders. And if you all have any questions, you all can get in touch with the organizers, and we'll be able to answer you all as well, right? And again, to reminder about the tomorrow's event, 9 a.m. to join in, because I'm telling you, participation will also be counted when we are counting your final mark. So do take part, and advanced Excel knowledge is going to be vital for the case study and also for the MCQ stages. Yes, do we have any more questions? Should we turn on camera during the competition? No, there is no requirement as such. Like I said, don't worry, we'll be sharing all the information on the group and also privately. We'll be messaging you all through WhatsApp. important thing is we want all of the participants to be on both the groups. We have one group which has exceeded the limit, so we have created another group. So like I said, important thing is make sure all your team members are there on the groups. If not, do let us know so that we can add you all to the group, because that's the way we will be communicating with you all. Okay.
There's one
Yes.
question. Can we still add someone as the third person to the team, even if we have already registered 2 members? Ashwini, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, the registrations are already done, but we can accommodate that. If there's another person, we can let them join to the team.
All right. So hope your question on that is answered. Please reach out to Ashwini regarding extending your team. And
Yes,
all the questions
yeah.
based on the...
Sorry, please
Okay.
notify us
are all
before
the
adding
questions...
them, so we can add them to the group as well. So please notify us about the new members.
Got it. Are all the questions based on the workshops we've done here? Yes, there will be nothing that will be coming out of the workshop. Everything will be coming from what we have discussed in these workshops. Do we join a meeting in the competition? I'm not exactly sure what that is.
That is not how we it will take place. So we'll be sending you a link, and the MCQs are uploaded in that link, and you all have to answer the questions. And in the back end, we can see how many questions have you all answered right, and how quick you all have answered. So you all don't have to join any meetings to do this. So it's very convenient because we'll be giving you all the option of when exactly you all want to do this. So based on that, we'll be allocating your session for the next stage. No, it will not be a Google form link. It will be in another system. Like I said, don't worry, we'll be sharing all the details with you.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we have exceeded our time as well.
All right. There's one final question. What do the winners get? So we will be having the champion team and the runners-up team. The champion team will be getting 20,000 worth cash prize, and the runners-up team will be getting 15,000 worth cash prize. So it's both cash prizes. The champion team 20,000 and the runners-up team 15,000, a total of 35,000. And that will be it. So Salim, I think we can
yes, wrap things up for today. So thank you so much for joining, and hope to see you all tomorrow as well. And if you all have any questions, like I said, get in touch with the organizers. Thank you.